Hello everyone, happy Tuesday to all of you. So we're talking about dissociation and sex. Two very popular topics. So I'm sure most of us know what sex is, right? I'm sure we do. You know? Okay. So there's that. Well, that's just part of it. That's just one thing of sex. There's many different types. But anyway. So there's that, and then there is dissociation, which dissociation is a detachment of yourself. You're not connected with yourself. If in a normal state of mind, your mind and body and spirit are all here, when you're dissociated, it's all over the place. It's just not there anymore. You're in a different frame of mind. You're in a different state. You can even be just out of your normal self, and it's not a pleasant feeling. It makes you feel very lost, very confused, very just like spaced out, almost like if you were to look at someone who is dissociated, just kind of like just kind of out of it. It's just you're just not really fully there. And when it comes to sex in general, with the dissociation, a lot of people can detach themselves from their body, so they don't. It could be multitude of things. It could be that they detach themselves from their body, so they don't actually even feel anything. They just go completely just numb, to not feel anything. Or it could be that they go into a different, like, personality almost, where they will, what appears to be enjoying the experience, but what they're doing is that they're repressing a lot of how they truly feel about the situation. So they may not be a sexual person, and then they get into some sort of sexual relationship, and then they become this hypersexual person who had some issues in the past, who may not have addressed them, and then they're just completely different when it comes to the sexual side of them. So usually all this stems from childhood trauma. This can be a lot of times sexual trauma in general. So if we were sexually abused as a kid, it can be that we hide how we're truly feeling. So if it's chronic sexual abuse, we may block that out and hide it and go numb, so we don't have to feel what we're feeling, because we're being abused and we don't like it. But that extends into adulthood then, and for something that should be a healthy sexual relationship, it turns into something so negative. It's the trauma reliving itself again. Now, I know this is one of the hardest things for many people, because physical abuse is one thing, emotional abuse is another, but sexual abuse seems to be just completely in its own realm of dealing with it, of tackling it, and it's much more difficult. I think also because sex in general is shunned. We don't really talk about it too much, and it's just something that people think, oh, sex, that's just a dirty, nasty activity and whatever. And yeah, maybe. I mean, it is an odd activity when you really think about it, but there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing that is bad or wrong about it. It's just how we are interpreting it in our mind. And our past experiences are determining how we are reacting to the situation. So we dissociate. And we can also dissociate from the actual experience, because we have some sort of physical issue, even that we don't like ourselves or whatever. Now, it's really troubling for a lot of people. I know that. I know there's plenty of people who do have this dissociation with sex, and I can just speak from my own experience here. I can't really don't really have much of any experience that much, but I will say, that has been an issue for me even. What I mean by that is that I've had that dissociation before, where it's almost like you just snap your fingers, and it's like you're right in the middle of something, and then you snap your fingers, and then it completely changes, and it's kind of like, what's going on here? Why am I doing this? And then it's kind of like even like angry, even just kind of like, I don't want to do this. It's just like, why? It's just Now, I always wonder why that would be. Like, why would I have that dissociation with that? And I think it's because, well, it could be one of two things. It's very possible that I've been sexually abused before, but I don't know. I know about the physical abuse, and I know about the emotional abuse based on what other family members have observed, mind you. This is what, my grandparents have observed. So, I didn't live with my grandparents growing up. I lived with my mother, so I don't know what sort of activities happened when no one was looking, when no one was behind the scenes. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. I don't think that she would necessarily do something, but I'm just worried about the people that she brought into the home, such as the men that she brought home. Who are those people? What would they do? I don't know, okay? I'm not going to make assumptions. I'm not going to sit here and say that it happened. I don't know what happened. But I will say it wouldn't be surprising, based on how I grew up, the issues that I had, even sexually, and then, just the issues that I've had with the real life encounter with sexual activity. So, the other thing is also, I think being transgender plays a big part. As you know, I'm a transgender woman. I was born as a male, so I didn't have the right genitals to begin with. So that right there is a form of sexual frustration. And I guess for me, being a transgender woman, post-op, I have the penis turned into a vagina, essentially. So that brings about a form of like, it's like, is it right? Is it normal? Is what I have down there what it should be? I don't know. So it just kind of makes me wonder about the whole situation. And then I remember even times that I was just doing a completely unrelated task, just working on something, and then it feels as though, imagine if you're just working on your computer, or you're working on your phone, you're just doing a different activity, and it feels like there's a spirit, a ghost, whatever, that comes into the room with you and starts to physically touch you, like sexually. And I've felt that before. Probably, I remember one time it was really intense, and it made me really, really upset, because I'm just sitting there, feel as though, my chest and my genitals are being touched, and it's just, I can't stop it. I can't, get away from it. It made me really, really upset. And I don't really know why that would be. I don't know why I would experience that, but I think it made me realize that perhaps there is something much more going on from my past that I don't remember, and I probably won't ever remember. But at the end of the day, when it comes to dissociation and sex, and I can't sit here and say that I am 100% better. I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, actually, no. I'll have to see. You won't see any of that. You won't see any of that. So, yeah, I guess it's just working on your own confidence. If you're able to be confident with yourself and love yourself and be confident in your own body and just allow the experience, then it can be a lot better. But at the same time, you need to have someone whom you trust as well. If you can't trust the person, then that is going to be much worse for you, and you shouldn't be having sex with someone you can't trust anyway, because when you're having sex with someone, that is a very vulnerable moment that you're in. You're in a very vulnerable state. So, I think for some people, the first few times that they may do it, it could be a form of dissociation where they feel so vulnerable they don't want to do it. They just, maybe that's how it was for me. I don't know. But what I can say is that if you continue to work on yourself and have positive experiences, the more positive experiences you have, it'll nullify the negative experiences you've had in the past. It doesn't matter how negative the situation was in the past. The more positive ones you have, it will make up for those negative ones. So just remember that. Just remember that. So, just let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'm really curious to know, because it is something that a lot of people face. A lot of people face dissociation, especially with sexual activity, and it's, as I said, it's just interesting because it's a different thing. Because you could be enjoying it one moment, and then, like a snap of a finger, you just like, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this. But then at the same time, you could also be like, just kind of laying there in like a zoned out almost, like, I'm just not paying attention, at all. And I think all of those have happened to me. But it's at the same time, if you can't communicate about that, which I could not communicate about those sort of things, then again, if you can have confidence and have positive experiences, I think that'll help you out a lot. So just remember that. Okay? So if you've had abuse in the past, it will feel like it's repeating itself, but that is your chance to overcome it and face it. That's what I say. So for me, I don't know if I had any sort of abuse in the past, but whatever the case is, I know that I have worked on it quite a bit. All my abuse, mind you, okay, all of it. And I've overcome a lot of those challenges. But again, when it comes to the sexual stuff, you need to actually have experiences and work on those experiences in the real time, in real moment. Just like if you have physical abuse or emotional abuse and you're scared of a certain location or place, you need to go into that place to overcome that fear. It's like if you have a fear of spiders, how do you overcome the fear? You have to be surrounded by spiders. You have to do it. It's going to be hard, but then it gets to a point where it's like, this is no big deal. See? Okay. That was it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Let me know your thoughts on it. Hope you take care. Hope you have a great day. And I will catch you... Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell you also. So I had a dream. I had a dream that the president was enforcing a lockdown order for like 18 months. And I was just like... I was just so upset and disturbed even. I was just like, really? You're going to do this despite the fact that, people should be going back to work now. And despite the fact that, he's pretty much said, going to try to get people back to work as soon as possible. So it was just very disturbing to me. It really was. It was like, you can't do that. Because at that point, there's going to be so many people dead from depression and, the lack of job, the lack of money, that's going to be the pandemic. So, yeah, that's just my belief. People need to get back to work ASAP. They really, really do. The sooner, the better. Sooner, the better. I wish it was happening right now, but no. I just refuse. Anyway, so you'll take care. I'll catch you later. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thought there was something else too, but I guess not. Alright. You take care now. Bye-bye.